Hi everyone, I hope everyone's well this week, and thanks again for all the hard work you've been doing over the past weeks and months with the patients as we adapt to the new normal, as everybody's calling it now. Some of you may have already been able to get an extra break possibly this week with public holidays, etc. But we do appreciate, again, we've been asked where you can't open. So on Monday there for some health boards, and again tomorrow for others. So if you are working, again, much appreciated. That's been recognised by Scottish Government, the input that you guys in the front line in community pharmacy are having with people's health, keeping people healthy in the communities. So thanks again for that to those of you who are having to come out and do the public holidays, and again this weekend as well. So just a few other things to kind of update you on this week. Some pharmacy owners and groups might have had a funding survey out last Friday from us. So that was sent by us last Friday. Don't worry if you haven't got one. It's not been sent to everybody. We're just taking a snapshot of the pharmacy network. Reasonably big snapshot, has to be said, but we're getting some funding details from you around costs, etc. for March and April, so that we can look and see where maybe the pinch points are for you, and try and evidence any further funding that might be necessary to support us through this challenging time in terms of cost to the business and for pharmacy teams, etc. So that's one thing that is out there. We're starting to get responses in already, so thanks to those who have. And if you have had it and you've not had a chance yet, don't worry, I think there's still another week to go before we're expecting maybe the final responses. But thanks again. Another thing today, Harry had the pleasure of going down to the Louisa Jordan facility today to see that. Now you might think, well, why is Harry making that journey? Well, the social distancing was involved when he got there, but it was in part to see the facility, but also to instigate some early discussions around potential hospital discharge using community pharmacy for the supply at that endpoint. Now this has been mooted for a while. Wales have a type of discharge service up and running already in NHS Wales, so we're looking to try and get something up and running. And initially it was thought that the Louisa Jordan facility might be the ideal point to maybe think about how that could work. So it was just a first discussion to get the principles kind of aligned. It's up at one of the items at our board agenda next week, so we'll be looking at where that fits in. And you know, it won't be certainly large scale initially, but I think that's certainly something and a space we could work in the future, so we'll see where that goes. So he was there. I was very impressed with the work, obviously, that's went on there from our pharmacy colleagues. So he met Paul and Susan, Gail and Gwen, so some of them virtually as well. They were there over Teams, some of them as well. But great work down there, guys, and thanks very much. And hopefully we can make this a success and scale it up in future. Another item that is going to be on an agenda, and we've been chatting to Scottish Government about, is maybe Pharmacy First as well, in terms of when is the right time to relaunch Pharmacy First, or not relaunch, actually launch it for the first time, I suppose. We'd be relaunching it if it was if it stopped and started again. But yeah, launch for the first time, Matt. Yes. And obviously there was a bit of momentum. A lot of you guys that came out to the road shows were excited for the service, ready and raring to go with it, and then COVID hit, so it was rightly shelved. Now we're back to a new normal. We're not saying it, you know, we're looking to do it, you know, next week, but certainly, you know, discussions are when is the right time to do it. So again, that's on our board agenda next week, and it'll be something that, you know, we're keen to hear views from members and other pharmacy stakeholders. And we'll be taking those views from our board next week, and I'm sure they will have an opinion on when we can look to get that done. And I know the Scottish Government will be keen to get Pharmacy First moving, as they were certainly really well behind it, and looking forward to the rollout as well. Another area we'll be talking about is Buvidal. So some of you might realise that the buprenorphine subcut injection Buvidal is going to be released throughout the prison service to help reduce contacts in prison with opioid replacement therapy patients. So that's something that, you know, is not widespread in Scotland. Again, in Wales, that's reckoned that about 10 to 15% of patients may be suitable for it. So again, that's something we need to strategically think, where does pharmacy fit? It's a once monthly subcut injection. That's another thing we'll be discussing next week at the board, to find out, you know, possibly how strategically we can think about how the patients fit into the community pharmacy model with that particular type of product. So that's another thing that's on the horizon and is starting, and for all good reasons at the minute, in prisons as well. So we'll be discussing that one. The last thing probably is COVID related. You'll be aware that Nicola Sturgeon at the start of the week announced the test, treat and isolate strategy in terms of looking to implement that within Scotland. And yeah, we realise that might have an impact on not just community pharmacy services, but other areas of pharmacy services as well. So we need to understand how that will work in Scotland, because it could have an impact if you have someone who's tested positive. In theory, everybody in that pharmacy, for example, who was with that person for longer than 15 minutes would need to isolate. So clearly there will need to be a different approach, different strategy, potentially very quick testing for whole pharmacy teams in that case. But we need to have these conversations with Scottish Government on what and how that will look like, and we've started that already. So there's no clear sort of strategy or outline of what that is at the minute, but clearly we are thinking about that and are in discussions with Scottish Government at the minute. So that's me for tonight. Harry's question was around which comic had the character Rogue Trooper, and that was 2000 AD. So that was one of Harry's comics when he was a lad. And I've got a question tonight as well around literature, so a different type of literature, maybe from the comics, but which famous US novel based its title from a poem by Robert Burns? So which famous US novel based its title from a poem by Robert Burns? And that's my question for tonight. So yeah, we did say we'd bring you these videos as and when required, so we're doing that tonight, and I'm sure Harry will be back at some point in the future when we've got something to say to you guys. But just take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.